anything you set your mind to, friends. Trust me. All right, welcome to episode 1 of the series that I honestly have not named yet, where I talk about all the real, raw, and authentic process of me running an art business and learning things along the way. So today I wanted to share a little bit about a project that I did a couple months ago where I actually painted 3 accessibility ramps for businesses in downtown Brampton. And Brampton is honestly just a little suburb outside of Toronto, Ontario, which is where I live. So we're gonna first start off with how I got the opportunity. So essentially, Bao reached out to me with this opportunity, which is pretty awesome. And Bao is the Brampton Arts organization, and throughout the past year I've kind of been building a rapport with them, attending events, networking with them, and just kind of maintaining a good connection with them, which isn't hard considering they're like really awesome people. So Bao essentially partnered with Stop Gap, which is a foundation that essentially puts out accessibility ramps for businesses in Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. And this is actually the first time that they got an artist to paint the ramps, and I just happened to be the artist selected for that, which is a really cool opportunity. Normally the ramps are just painted like a really plain color, and just me being able to have this opportunity in the first place was just in itself a really cool thing for me. However, this was my very first time painting a canvas that was this large. So if you know me, you know I love digital work. I paint sneakers, I paint jackets, but I've never actually painted something this large that was this accessibility ramp. Just by nature, I was already very nervous, and you know the imposter syndrome came through. I was sweating, I was stressing. Is this even gonna look good? Can I even do it? All of those thoughts that we normally get when we're doing something brand new for the first time. Not to mention, they actually had a limited color palette on the ramp. They actually only had red, green, blue, yellow, and black. And if you know anything about art and graduated from kindergarten, you know that those are primary colors. You can actually mix red, blue, and yellow to become any color you want, which is good. But again, I don't normally do painting projects. This is my first very big one. And so obviously I was nervous about mixing the colors as well. Like, are they gonna turn out good? And so that was a limiting aspect. They also already painted the ramps. And so I kind of had to work with a base that was already painted. It wasn't a plain white canvas. So the paint that they used was textured paint, obviously for the wheelchairs to make sure they don't slip off. It actually creates like a grippy effect for the wheelchairs itself. And so because the paint was textured, I couldn't really paint any small or fine details. I had to keep it a little bit larger and more graphical, which I wasn't too mad about considering, again, first time, nerves, blah, blah, blah. But with all these doubts and things in my head, I just had to let go of it and just go for it. So I essentially just took my iPad and pretty much just painted out the designs on my iPad at first, and I just went for it because honestly, if you just let the overthinking take over, you're never gonna try new things and you're never gonna do it. So like Nike, I had to just do it. Painting took place at the Toronto Tool Library, which it was my first time actually going there. For any Toronto people who may know the area, it's an amazing tool library, so cool, amazing worker space. And Stopgap provided the paintbrushes, they provided the paint. I literally just had to show up with my 2 hands and my designs, which was pretty awesome. The day that I had to paint, my little sister actually came with me. I kind of dragged her along because I wanted her to film content, which you're pretty much seeing right now. However, she actually ended up really just like loving, and she's like, hey, can I like help? So she ended up helping me paint, which honestly, if she didn't and she wasn't there, I don't even think I could have finished the project in time because I only had from like 12 to 4 to paint, which seems like a long time, but considering it was my first time painting something so large by myself, like I was nervous. So shout out to my sister for coming through and helping me with that. And I ended up just filming content on my phone at one point because we were both painting and into it, and it's fine, it worked out. So while we were painting, because of the style I'm painting, because of the texture of the ramps, between layers, I actually had to switch out ramps back and forth. So it wasn't like I just painted one ramp and finished it. It was kind of like, okay, first layer of ramp 1, and then we had to stand it up on a ledge with a fan so that it could dry. And then we would just continuously switch out the ramps, which I thought was really funny. And I will tell you, they are quite heavy. Imagine carrying it with paint and it's wet and it's heavy. It was an experience. And we also stopped for a quick lunch break at Juicy Dumpling because we were mad hungry. We finished the ramps up in about 4 or 5 hours, and we went home, and that was it, the end. Just kidding. So about a month later, I actually got to walk around with the Brampton Arts organization to all the local businesses in downtown Brampton, and we got to hand deliver the ramps to the business owners, which was honestly such a cool experience, being able to see their faces. First off, they were so happy to get the ramps. Second off, they were so ecstatic to see the artwork on the ramps. And I don't know, it's one thing being able to see your artwork in the real world, but it's another thing to be able to see the faces of people getting the artwork, and another thing on top of that to be able to create artwork that's actually actually making a difference and doing something like creating accessible access for people. Not only did like I take photos next to the ramps, of course, as the artist, but the business owners were so excited to take photos with the ramps as well. Luckily, Bao had their photographer Herman there, and he was able to shoot photos of me as well as the business owners together, which was really freaking cool. So honestly, I would say my biggest takeaway from this whole project is to shut that imposter syndrome up. Because if you have the skills, you know how to paint, you have the ideas, you are more than qualified for the job. Like, stop thinking you're not qualified because you haven't done it. You have all the little pieces to the skills. You just need to put them together in this new project of a puzzle. So my biggest takeaway really is to not be afraid to try new things and to really put yourself out there and believe in yourself, bet on yourself, like you got this. So honestly, this project actually inspired me to want to do more mural work in the future, but at a larger scale. I made it a goal of mine in 2023 to do more public artwork, but when I thought of public artwork, I was thinking more billboards and like digital spaces or vinyl installations through digital artwork. Never did I think I'd be painting things with my two hands right here, but now that I've done it, I feel like I just can't get enough. It just feels so authentic being able to paint something with your brush and like with your hands. And so I'm really open to doing more murals at a bigger scale, and I just can't wait to see what the future and the universe has in store for me, and murals coming up soon. So that is all for today. Thank you for listening. Let me know how you like this new series so far. I know it's only been technically 2 videos, but give me a thumbs up, give me feedback, and let me know what other kind of content you want to see in terms of like tips and like stuff within this series. But yeah, turn on your post notifications, and I'll see you later. Peace.